This is only a test.
Yes, sir. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Man, living and laughing. Laughing
Word.
and living.
Yeah.
Man, hope everybody doing good. Welcome back to the Black Dad Podcast. Pascal Rascal, underrated, the GOAT Ed.
Yes, sir. Episode, what's this, 12? Episode 12? Yeah, so we rocking and rolling, man. I'm ready to get this thing rolling, man. Well, let's just start about let's just start with our weeks in passing, man. How's it been since the last time? It's been 2 weeks since our last recording. How's everything been since then?
Good, man. School, kids getting back to school. Girl celebrated a trip around the sun. I don't say birthdays, anniversary. Bella, same way. She turned 8. My daughter. Everybody's just, it's transition. I love the school time, man. I be getting excited when I see the back to school commercials. Like when I see it, you know what I'm saying? It's like thriving. So I just been loving everybody just getting settled and getting back into schools. That's where my focus is. Like getting back on that routine, homework. I love the structure. So it's really been a good week and getting everybody together. I had a young child reach out to me that I normally used to be. I used to be her foster care worker, case manager. She kind of needed assistance with clothes, so it was a blessing. Everybody reached out and gave me money, clothing. Bought her outfits, bought me clothing to take tours. So I was able to take her, get her items, take her to the store, get her things. So it was really a blessing. So it's this week been starting off with a bang so far. So
Word. That's what's up, man. Definitely a blessing to be able to bless others, man. So salute to you for that. And I did see you post that on Facebook, and definitely shout out to everybody else that was able to have a helping hand in that. I would say the same like you, man. I could feel the change of the seasons approaching. So like you said, with school coming about, everything is kind of like shifting. So like you said, that structure, it's been pretty much that for me and my family is getting adjusted to that new structure. We not just chilling all day. You follow me? Like we being more aware of how we spend our times because the day it'll fly past. Usually the kids is in the summertime, they could kind of like rock out, enjoy their time off. But now, we want to get them on the same page. We want to get them focused.
yeah,
Because it's going to be a long school year. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, I just been focusing on this Young Black and Gifted thing. I had the opportunity over the last couple of weeks. As you can see, I got the throwback backdrop in the background. You know what I mean? So, but I had the opportunity to do a few interviews. So I think that's what I'm gonna be doing over the course of the next couple of weeks, especially with with in between our episodes and all that stuff. Try to pick up a few young fellas, young guys, and bring them up on the podcast. That's been pretty dope. Football season approaching. We'll talk a little bit about that in the Man Cave segment, but I had the opportunity to go see some of the guys play. So, that thing is always a good feeling to stay busy. You follow me, and to even get some things accomplished. So, yeah, and then even our last episode going live, you know what I mean? That was dope because our previous attempt, it didn't work out for us. So being able to come back the following week and knock it out the park. So, I'm just locked in on this thing right here, trying make it work, man, the best way I know how to, man.
yeah.
So we got a few things today. My main topic, I wanna in light of all this snitch talk on social media, has been a lot of snitch talk happening. It kind of made me want to revisit a circumstance that happened that took place. We didn't touch on it during the time in which it happened, but I wanted to revisit it anyhow. So Jacksonville, Florida rapper by the name of Ksoo was convicted of first-degree murder. So within the case, there's a lot of particulars to the case. I think he would have been convicted without this one thing, but the one thing that stuck out to me was that his father had got caught up in the mix in the case. Yeah. So in turn, his father decided to testify against him, not on his behalf, but against them. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think the evidence may have been so overwhelming. His father testifying testimony wouldn't have mattered anyway. However, his father being in that position, I don't know. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on, somebody being in such a tough position that they make that kind of decision to kind of save themselves and basically sacrifice their child. And I also want to talk about some of the things that we can do that we always talk about precautionary measures, preventative measures, what we can do beforehand to prevent these things from taking place. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. What you think about that?
So I married you when you sent me over the outline. I had to kind of do a little research on it, and from what I read, they said that the pops basically had a criminal past, towards though like him getting caught up with this or him being implicated would basically be kind of him either going up for the rest of his life or a substantial time. I personally, I still wouldn't bet told on my son, man. And me watching the footage of them saying, "Is this him?" in the picture. You could tell the hurt in his heart having to even say like, yeah, that's him. But it's like, no, I would have to just try to eat that one. But it's just like if you, I always remember the term they said, man, if you a street nigga and your son turned into a street nigga, you failed as a father. A street nigga, you supposed to turn your son into something else. You're only in the streets because that's your last option or with how you've been successful. Any street dude, really, you want to get your son out of it. So it's kind of like, what did he lead to? Because obviously he was in the streets. Obviously he was in prison or had a life. And now his son is in that same type of world or getting down like that. So it's, the apple, like they say, apple don't fall too far from the tree. But it's just you gotta have good roots. If you want to raise your kids a certain way. So you just gotta lead by example. I feel like maybe I don't know his circumstances. I'm how he was raised or what he went through. But I feel as though just when you lead by a good example, eventually the kids will follow.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I will also have to agree with you saying that you got at that point in time. You got to bite that, man. It's like, you had plenty of opportunities to save your son. You follow me? To save yourself. You follow me? And it's just like at that point, you gotta take accountability. Because however, whether your son made that decision or not, like I said, he may not have been able to control what his son did. However, he could have controlled his interactions with his son. Like you said, leading by example. So yeah, no, I can't see myself being so selfish that I make it about myself even at that point in time. Like I said, I think regardless of his father's input, so that's what make it kind of crazier too, because it's like regardless of what his father did or said, his son was cooked anyway. So I think it really boils down to him like saving himself.
Yeah.
You follow me?
It was obviously a plea arrangement or a plea deal he took. Like,
I would agree. And like I said beforehand, it's a lot like you said, what you say, like if you was a street guy and your son end up following your footsteps, then you failed. Right. Like I said, he had plenty of time. He had plenty of time to redirect his son, move him out of the circumstances he was in, just shape him to be different. We've seen it. I've seen it happen. We from around that, so we've seen a lot of guys whose fathers may have come through that and either reformed themselves or just created a better path for their children.
Yeah.
I can't get with that. I know that's not a part of the segment, but that's just something that I couldn't be able to get with, man. And again, like I said, being accountable for yourself, number one, and being accountable for your son. Doing your best to make sure that he don't go down that path. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's a bad joint.
Gotta pray for all families involved with that one, because that's a tough joint. Father, he going through it. His son, she got to thank his mama. Mm-hmm. That's a tough thing.
And it's in Jacksonville. Jacksonville is big on that drill. It's a little like, as far as music style, it's probably a little different from what we hear up here in the northern region, but it's still the same thing. It's still drill. And they might be a little wilder because they had AKs as soon as they hopped off the porch. That's that thing that, AK is the weapon of choice down south. You follow me? So that's another thing, the drill rap, that's just a lot of what it was. I know Jacksonville and a lot of the southern region states and cities down there are dealing with that amongst the youth. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just go back to that thing, how, things got to change, man. And it started at home. So that was the whole point of like me bringing it up, was just to say, like, try to get your insight on like such a matter where a father, he had plenty of opportunity to help save his son.
Right.
So on a lighter note, I'm gonna skip to our stats of the week. We got two stats. One from Jazz. Jazz helped formulate this one, and the other one is one that you submitted. So excuse me as I check my Palm Pilot. What age young athletes become involved in sports? So it says world-class athletes in Olympic sports start playing sports around the age of 10 on average. Okay. With the average for deciding to specialize in that sport being 15. So I could see that, like, when I was younger, when I got involved in sports, I was around 10 years old. But I played every sport, so I didn't have it like figured out exactly what sport I wanted to play. And I could see 15 being like that age where like a kid figure it out, like, you know what, I'm just playing football, or I'm gonna just play football, I'm gonna just play baseball or whatever. So, however, start ages vary significantly by sport, with some like tennis or gymnastics having much earlier averages on age, while others like American football often see athletes beginning intense training later or even in their teens. Factors influencing starting age, sport type, early starting sports like tennis and badminton and gymnastics, which we just covered, started at a younger age, football being the latter ages. Specialization versus diversification. Early diversification. Many athletes benefit from trying multiple sports, which I just talked about.
Yeah.
In childhood to develop broad fundamental motor skills before specializing. Like, again, like I'm looking at Kobe. Kobe, I think he will play sports, but he's only 2. So like those motor skills aren't fully developed, like hand-eye coordination. He knows to throw the ball, but he'll be looking, I'll be standing on the side and I'm like, shoot the ball, and he'll be like, you know what I'm saying? So just, I think as he gets older, he'll develop that understanding and those motor skills. Elite athletes often specialize in their chosen sport later in their development, sometimes after the age of 13. So it's basically like the earlier, you know, the earlier you are, you kind of like trying to figure it out, and the later you get into your, you know, your sports career, you kind of like begin to break it down and specialize. So what's your thought on that about the ages on average for pro athletes or athletes that decide to go pro?
But I actually thought it was much younger. I wouldn't really have generalized it as being 10. It's funny because they did start football at 10. He was playing baseball like since, I want to say, probably 6, 7. 10 is when he like say that's what he's interested in. And you know, and it kind of makes sense around that age too at 10, because that's when you kind of getting your interests, you know, your favorite team, you formulate who you are as a person around that time. So it would make sense to most major athletes start, but I would actually thought it was like much younger, because like something that you gravitate towards. You always see the picture of LeBron with the basketball joint when he was like a buck. Like you always see like the some players, they got the jersey on at a young age. I always thought it would have been a little younger, but it definitely makes sense. And the fine motor skills that it takes to play sports, I think kids, like, their brains are like sponges. Like, eventually they're gonna get it. Like, yeah, Kobe looking over at you right now, but shoot, eventually he gonna be doing it like Steph Curry. You know, looking at you, shooting at you on this. I feel like it's just throw them in it. That's how I feel like when they do it with the pools. They throw these young kids into the pool and they mess around and figure out how to swim. It's you got. I think it'd be just dope to kind of immerse them in very early. But I feel like they said, 10 and then 15 with really dedicated training. Yeah, it makes sense, because around that 15, you kind of fearful of what's your future. Can this take me to the next level? Am I going to be able to succeed or go higher? Then you go growth spurts, things like that. So yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, so that was kind of like that was kind of like the conversation I was having with Jazz, because I think it varies depending on the level in which the athlete is involved in.
Yeah.
Right now, in this 8-year-olds playing football, and for them it's very intense. However, it's not a mirror of what it's going to take to get to that ultimate level, which may be the NFL for some people, right? So I think it varies depending on the individual. And this was another thing too. In the podcast I mentioned like late bloomers. It's late bloomers that's in the NBA. Joel Embiid was a late bloomer. You follow me? And even if he played the game, I don't think he became played organized ball, like to really understand the game, until he was like in high school, I think. You follow me?
Right, yeah.
Whereas most kids is playing basketball as early as 8 years old. You know what I mean? So I think everything is subjective and it varies. Some people are more physically gifted than others. So that's how you could start later and still make the pros, opposed to your counterparts that might have been playing since they were 8 years old. I know me, I started playing basketball, but at 8 years old playing basketball on a regulation court, the game is nowhere near as competitive as it may be when I'm 15 playing on a ninth grade team. You follow me? And even playing on a ninth grade team is not as competitive as D1 basketball may be. All right, so for our next segment, this or that, man. You know, this is one of my favorite joints right here, where we present an idea or a topic, and we'll just let you guys know if we could get with it or if we ain't getting with it, right? So in light of, we talking about sports and all this stuff, right? So the overuse of your child on sports teams due to their advanced abilities or the underuse of them due to the lack thereof. Can you get with that? It's a two-part joint. So like your son is the best player on the team and then he get the ball 50 times a game, all season, every game, right? Or your son on a team where he's not being utilized because he isn't that good, or, he's just for whatever reason. Can you get with that, like the overuse or the underuse of children in team sports?
I gotta say, probably a middle of both. Being a baseball coach, it's times where I've my best player, I can't have him start in every game because it's going to alienate the other young men who come to play baseball. Their parents are paying money for them too, for them to learn the game. So it's a young man where he may not be good in the infield, but I'm gonna put him in the infield to give him an opportunity to learn from the experiences. Meanwhile, there might be a time where game is in crunch time, and I'm putting all my best players in the best positions for everybody. So the guy who's in the outfield playing in the sand, this time he's going to be in the dugout because I can't, your liability. So I say it's a little bit of both, but I understand, like, it's times where I got to adhere to the parents and their kids. I got to change up the batting orders. So not the same people is batting first all the time or the same people is batting last. It's just because the parents don't pay for that. So, and I always want the kids to come out and have fun. So that's why I kind of lighten it to my experience. So I just think that it's right there in the middle is kind of what I normally would do. Yeah, I'm going to ride the good talent, but I'm not going to diminish the bad as well, like too much. I'm going to give them opportunity to play as well.
Word. I think it's again subjective, depending on like you stress a great point where you talk about extracurricular like sports, because like you said, parents do pay for it.
Yeah.
So I get that, right? And for the most part, it's the parents' money that's funding the team or the leagues, and, the dues and all that stuff, right? So I get that from that aspect. But from a competitive standpoint, I would say against subjective. So if we talk about football, I think that the coach should be smart enough to have a balanced attack. So if the best player, if my son is the running back and they want to hand him the ball off basically 3 out of every 4 downs, they want to give him the ball, I think that the coach should be smart enough to have a more balanced attack, because then what happens is you could burn somebody out. You follow me? Now from the aspect of the child, they might want the ball, but also too, it's a long season. I see these young boys, a lot of it, especially since I've been doing the podcast over the last couple of weeks, a lot of these young boys follow me. These young boys been doing football since February, spring. You follow me? So now when the fall come into play, you follow me? They've been playing since spring, summer. Now they ready to play going into the fall, and they'll most likely, if they any good, they'll be playing in the wintertime, right?
Yeah.
I think having a balanced attack and making sure that you're not burning out the kid, because especially if they young, like if they at that between 8 and like I'm gonna say probably like 12, because a little bit the game tends to not slow, but become more complex, I'll say, right?
Yeah.
So when you a youth football player, you might be 8 years old, you might be so advanced that you could score every time you touch the ball.
Right.
But it might not be that simple once you get to high school. You follow me?
Yeah.
Not saying that you won't be able to score as much, but the defenses are going to be a lot more smarter. They're going to be game planning for you, for real, watching tape on you. So you'll have to be more strategic in your attack.
Yeah.
So I just think like when they're younger, you should definitely be more mindful and try to have a little bit more balance, just from a competitive standpoint and just from the aspect of not wanting to burn them out. Now, as far as my son or my child not getting to play, I understand that fully.
Yeah.
I've been playing sports all my life, so it's just like, again, I would say it's subjective too, because that younger age where kids might not be fully developed. We talked about motor skills and all that stuff. It might not be fully developed between the ages. Some people are late bloomers. They might not get it until high school. You
Right.
follow me? I know a couple of guys who played linemen. You know, one of the young boys, shout out, we'll talk about him, Eric Willis. When he came on, he's D1 right now, right? But I thought that he always been a superstar because of how great he was doing in high school.
Right.
No, it was rough for him. He had to put the work in. You follow me? So in his earlier years, it wasn't all peach and creamy for him. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
again, my point was say it's very subjective depending on the child and the circumstances. But I do understand if you aren't good, you not getting to play. You follow me? But when I played football, they were A teams and it was double A teams, right? When we won the championship, I was on double A my first year, right? And when we got to the championship, it wasn't a double A championship. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. It was the A team championship. You feel me? So I get that, right? So I think even in the sense of building toughness, just from not a negative type toughness, but a mental toughness, right? It kind of gives the kids something to work towards, right? Michael Jordan got cut from his, I think, 9th grade basketball team or 10th grade basketball team. We talking about one of the GOATs, right? So it happens. So I think it's not depending on, I'm gonna say up until the age of 12. I'm gonna say middle school and beyond, I get it. I think if it's youth sports where the parents are playing, to your point, get a kid a chance or have the double A teams or the B teams like we just talked about. So, but I can get with it depending on the circumstances, right? But I don't look at it I don't look at either one of them like it's a bad thing. All right, so for our next one in our this or that segment, your child as early as middle school making their own academic decisions, i.e. electives, whether or not they want to attend college or drop out. Can you get with your child making decisions for themselves? I'm gonna say again, we say from middle school up until high school. Are you down with your child making their own academic decisions?
To a degree, what I would probably have to say overall, yeah, because I feel like I don't like my kids to be autonomous. I don't like them to just be strictly, I gotta dictate what you do. There's a certain kid, we as kids, we knew what we wanted as life. We knew what we wanted. Sometimes we needed a nudge in the right direction, but for the most part, we know what we wanted and didn't want. And those things didn't evolve to be too much different from when we were adolescents to when we were adults. So I kind of want to give my kids that, that option, that independence. My son's in tomorrow, to show love by the grace of God, he starts honor school. That was his decision. If he wanted to go, he could have went to the other school where all the rest of his friends is going, but he said yeah, I want that challenge. I want to work towards this. It gets college credits, things of that nature. It was kind of his choice, and we just supported him. So it's I really believe anything with the likelihood of trying to drop out, I think I would kind of give a child that leeway. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and sign up for different electives, you want to sign up he did band, or my daughter wants to do drama classes and stuff like that. I'm okay with that. As long as it ain't nothing I feel like is too overwhelming for you for your studies or something that's going and it's the wrong kind of crowd or something like that. I would really kind of give my kids that option to just make that decision. You're old enough now, and in life you're going to have to make decisions on your own soon anyway. So why not start now?
I like that. I would say the same, right? As long as it has a meaning behind it, like you said, with your electives, making sure that you picking the right, you're not taking on more than you should be able to bear, or you're not doing stuff, getting in clubs and stuff that's going to put you around the wrong crowds, right? As long as your decision making is going to lead you down a straight path, then I'm good with that. You follow me? Even as far as the dropping out thing, right? You would have to have you would get pushback from me only if you don't have a plan outside of that. If my son come to me at 17 and say that he want to stop school, I will want to understand why. And I will also want to know what he planned on doing. Because it couldn't just be living off me and you ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I kind of I didn't drop out of school. I got basically kicked out and just never went back. You know what I mean? But at that same age of 17 years old, you know what I mean? But I didn't have an idea what I wanted to do with life. I didn't know what I didn't. First off, I didn't know what life was about. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know if you would have told me that I was going to be doing this back then. That was 20 years ago. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would have been like, okay, all right, cool, yeah, no problem. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's important that children, that we as parents do aid our children. I do agree with you because in life, you will have to make your own decisions, right? You're not going to always be able to depend on mom or dad to come behind you and clean up your mess. However, depending on that age level that you at, you know what I'm saying, 8th, ninth, 10th grade, you know what I'm saying? I would definitely want to give my child leeway, or I've given them leeway to make their own decisions, but it has to make sense. I don't want you to be veering off and, and going into something else that don't make sense for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a good joint. And again, like you said, it's a great thing. It's a great thing to be able to give your child, because they're gonna have to do it regardless. Yeah. They're gonna wind up having to grow up regardless. So in that position where it's like, even though it's school and they live with you and you do everything for them, it's probably the most serious thing in their life at the moment. Yeah. So putting them in a position to be able to like decide which direction they want to take with that, I think that is a great idea.
Yeah, I'm going through that now. Like, it is 12. It's kind of like, for me, the oldest. I got Ksoo in college, but it's like my not biological child. So with me, really, this is my oldest child right here with Day, and being around him. And now it's like I gotta take the training wheels off. Like, when I was 12 years old, I'm walking to go get a haircut myself. I'm catching a trolley up the street to 65th and Woodland, Golden Touch, go get a cut.
It was 8. Yeah,
like it was a different time. Dad, is you gonna take me to go get my cut? Dad, is you gonna take me to go get my hair done? It's like, yeah, I understand. I didn't have a father to do all that for, but it's like it made me super independent. But it's like, what would you do if I wasn't around, son? How would you go about it? Like, I want you to kind of start thinking that. Like, I told him today, like, a man that don't work, he don't make money. Like, so it's like I'm in that same space right now where I'm just taking the training wheels off, where I'm kind of giving more responsibility. Like, yeah, if you want to go ahead honor school, just know it's going to be a different, like, you got to be to school at 6:30 in the morning now. Like, bus is, nigga, I ain't got to be to work that early. You got to be to school that early. Is this what you want? So it's like, I'm trying to give them that more responsibility to see is how they built.
Yeah, and I go through the same thing with my son Sage. He around the same age, and just more like to your point, just from like a day-to-day or everyday life thing, right? That's a whole nother story. But it's tough when you don't have the support of the other parent. However, I understand. I've been going through the same thing with my son. Just wanting to like put him in that mentality to be accountable and responsible for his own thing, and not always, even when like at one point in time, it was about washing clothes. Yeah. You follow me? Like, it's, if you down, it's ways that you can know that you down to your last, right? You go in your underwear drawer and you got 30 pairs of drawers, but you only see 5. That's a red flag. Right. Even if your mom do help you with your laundry, that's a perfect time to mention to your mom, hey mom, like I need to do, we need to do laundry. Right. You know what I'm saying? So those are like things that I was trying to like work with him on, even just taking care of the things that he has. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding, yeah, I make the sacrifice to give you the Jordans or whatever. You have the things, but you have to take care of them, because those things didn't just fall on your lap, Right. I had to work for it. You follow me? So I'm only able to do it because I worked. So if you don't take care of it, I feel away now, because it's like I worked hard so that you can have that. You know what I'm saying? So those are like some of the conversations and talks that I've been having with my son. But yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you. It's very important for kids to kind of like take on, and especially, I think young ladies have that in them. You know what I'm saying? They still, as children, they still require structure and direction. But I think it's us as young men that we really like need to like be taught and shown how to do this thing. You feel me? So I understand, bro. I understand for sure. All right. So our last part for the this or that segment is your daughter wanting her stepdad to walk her down her aisle on her wedding day. Is you getting with that, or is you ain't?
I'm gonna have to get with it.
Okay. Okay.
Simply because, well, I am a stepfather to a child, and my daughter does have a step. Mine got a boyfriend, so if he becomes stepdad, only time will tell. But just so I couldn't get mad because if my I don't even consider step. That's like my daughter. If my daughter wants me to walk her down the aisle as opposed to her father, I mean, me personally, I would try to say nudging, let your dad walk you down. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm not, insecure, nothing like that. I'm aware of my position in your life. But on the same token, if my daughter felt like she wanted her stepdad walking down because she was mad at me, same shit. Like, hey, baby, go ahead. I'm gonna be right there waiting for you. First dance, if second dance, third dance, 10th dance. Like, I'm not insecure like that. I know my position in my life. I know you came out my balls. Like, I ain't tripping off of nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people, they get upset when they caught their dad. Child call another dad, stepdad, something like that. No, I feel like, I'm secure in who I am as a parent and what I brought to your life or what I didn't bring. So, I could just do the best I can, pray, I could walk down both of them, walk down one of them, none of them. If they want to just be unmarried, who knows? But, I would just be thankful for the opportunity either way. But I wouldn't pay no mind. So I could definitely get with it.
Okay. You're a lot more mature than me, dog. Did I lose you? Lost you. I was about to go in. I was saying you a lot more mature than me, man. I can get with it. However, I'm going to definitely feel some type of way. I'm going to be honest, right? However, I wouldn't allow how I feel to overtake it or disrupt, my daughter's peace. You follow me? Like, I would definitely be like, what? Like, fuck out of here. Just because I done been through a lot of bullshit with this baby mama drama, dog.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just been through a lot of stuff, man. However, I have children's mothers who have gotten married, you know what I'm saying? And my daughter is a part of their wedding. You follow me? So I think, and then I say that to say, like, in turn, my daughter has built a relationship with her stepfather. So he is like a father to her. I had to learn that pretty early. And I guess my disdain for it is just how it's not always what people do, but how people do the things that they do. You follow me? I got some in that area. So, but if my daughter made the decision that she wanted her stepfather to walk down, I would definitely feel some type of way. However, I would be like the same thing like with you. I just be working, consistently, like in my mind, telling myself it's not about you, bro. Which it ain't. It wouldn't be about me. And I think seeing my daughter in that space will help. The thing to kind of like just help me to move beyond that feeling or whatever. But initially, I'd be like, what? Get this nigga the fuck out of here, dog. But I wouldn't ruin it. I would definitely attend. I wouldn't make it an argument. I wouldn't go that far to make it about me. But inside, I would definitely be like hurt by that. You follow me? So yeah, everything is circumstantial. I need context. I need to understand. It's kind of hard for me to just be like black and white. You follow me? Unless we talk about my core values, unless we talk about respect, unless we talk about love, unless we talk about loyalty. You know what I'm saying? But anything outside of that, I need context to it. You follow me? So
Yeah, I always just think situations like that, I look at it like it's the devil. The devil know the things that make you happy, he also know the things that make you mad and sad too. So he know the things that wrestle with our heart. Sometimes these things be like it be gifts. I count, like you say, count it all as blessing. It's a gift to go through that because it's letting me know what do I'm still hurt about. See, if we take resentment or hurt from that situation, it's letting them know, damn, what am I going through that I still feel some type of way? No, I that's why I said, man, I let that go. If my daughter to this day, she know the guy who is with her mom now, they grow up, they get together, and me and her relationship don't come, God will. I'm just saying this all hypothetical. Me and my baby, we locked in for life. Oh man, that's heavy anniversary. My baby just had birthday. But I'm saying, just if hypothetical, she wanted him to walk her down. I would just be okay with it because I feel as though that would be nothing but the enemy trying to get me to go ahead route of all this. You got this nut ass nigga walking you down. You know what nigga be sitting somewhere saying at the wedding. Like, oh, you got this nut ass walking you down.
if anybody should hold their peace, I don't know. Look, young bull cool, but
Yeah,
I
young
don't
boy
think
cool, but I'm still feeling some type of way that y'all had this nut ass nigga right with my daughter. No, yeah, see, that'd be the setup because then you look at you the asshole, you done messed up her
yeah,
special
yeah,
day.
yeah.
No,
That's me. Yeah.
these all be setups from the enemy. So I
Mm-hmm.
ain't falling for it, man. I've been trying to do a good job recently, like Barry Sanders, these enemies
Got to.
because they trying to get at you. But if you elusive, you Floyd Mayweather in the ring against these things that's trying to destroy your happiness, man, you gonna be good, man. But you gotta be defensive.
Yeah, no, I would agree, man. And then, we talking about my daughters. I love my daughters deeply, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be that selfish, you know what I'm saying, to make it about me. However, if you see how I started, I said you're a lot more mature than me because I don't know that I've matured enough. Just the thought about it today.
Yeah.
When they get married, it might be different, right? But I'm just saying how things are today and how things are. And if it happened today, I would definitely feel some type of way about it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
again, I would have enough self-control to not make it about me at the same time. You feel me? Like that type of joint. But to your point, it would definitely be like one of them joints where it's like, yo, now I gotta go to the drawing board because what's wrong with, like, why is that bothering me? You know what I'm saying? Where it shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, even having to learn how to watch my daughters be in a position where they're being somebody's stepdaughter. I had to learn that young, and that was hard for me at first. I say I don't think it was the overall idea of it. I just think about how it was being done. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of you. I don't want to get too deep into it, but you heard a woman, bro. She gonna make you pay for it. However, they'll stop at nothing. You follow me? To make you feel that pain. You know what I mean? And even in that, even just to say that is like, I guess maturity has to happen within you, even with that understanding, because it's like, even though you might not agree with it, it's like, damn, but you don't get a nigga back like that. You still got to have some accountability. You know what I'm saying? So I would agree with you. You stated a good point. Whereas if you're going through those emotions and you having those thoughts and emotions, then you should probably do some self-reflecting and some soul searching, because it ain't about you, it's about your baby girl, man. Let your baby girl do what makes her happy. You follow me? And like you said, it don't. And my thing is my love language with my children is memories. I enjoy time with them, but I also document a lot of memories. So you know what I'm saying? My daughter Charlotte hit me up like a couple months ago, like, Dad, do you remember when I had this? I was in this it was some type of what is it called? STEM. She was some type of STEM competition they did, and me and the family went to go support her. And she like, yeah, do you got any pictures from that day? I absolutely do. Let me check my pomp. That was, she was in the ninth grade. She'll be 22. She'll be 22 in December. So I take pride in that and documenting it. Obviously being available and being present in the moment, but I always said if my son or my daughters ever tried to talk crazy about me, I got a diss track, not but a slideshow. You ever try to talk about me being a father? I got a slideshow full of memories to back up my defense. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that I have memories. So that's what I'm saying. I like to document everything. So I wouldn't make it about me. I would definitely give my daughter the opportunity to be happy, and deal with myself. If I feel a type of way, deal with myself accordingly, not take it up with my child. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, that was the last one for the this or that segment. So moving along, the finish the sentence segment. Another good John. So my first one here is, for finish the sentence, is if I weren't a father, I would be. Finish the sentence.
Boy, what?
Yeah, dog.
Telling you, boy, I be a truck driver too. You hear me? CDLs, I'm gone. I'ma have round and
Truck
round
driver
and
is
go.
funny as shit.
Round and round we go.
This-
Boy, I'm telling you, I'd rather if I ain't had no kids, man. I would probably definitely no, man. I would probably definitely probably be somewhere traveling a lot on the islands. Probably just run a philanthropy, be a philanthropist. Like we be one of them people like, dang, you don't have kids. Like, no, I just my whole life was to help everybody else, but be somewhere slaying shit in the background. You hear me? Like no wife, no nothing, just tearing shit up from county to county, state to state. Like ain't worried
Yo,
about
this
no
boy
kids.
crazy. No lot
That's
lizards though, bro. You gotta go hit the malls.
no, you see him feel these lot lizards? You see? I don't know.
Lot lizards is funny as shit. I ain't mad at you. At least you was honest. That shit funny as shit. He's from the rip.
Yeah, I knew. I ain't listen. I saw a little bit of episode. I knew. Well, I got this one. Oh, I got this one. Tell me
Mhm.
No, because you gotta think without no kids, no wife, nothing, man. Why not? Like, go ahead, do your thing, man. I ain't got no. I knew some of my homies. Fresh out some of the guys we went to school with, no kids right now. They different
Yeah.
islands, different places. They live and their responsibilities ain't like ours. They ain't gotta be on child support. They ain't gotta pay money for Oculus, and then the kids don't even want to come over after you to give them the goddamn Oculus. I ain't calling by no names. I ain't saying shit, but I'm just
Took a shot.
shots fired. You hear me? So no, like it's just
Man.
no, it's a different vibe with no kids. So I would definitely be a jet setting hoe.
If I weren't a father, I would be based off my trajectory as a younger guy. I would say in dead or in jail, man. I was so like careless, and even once I became a father, I still kind of like had that a little bit of that in me.
Yeah,
But
reckless.
my point is that being a father, having children, gave me purpose. When I've been to state penitentiary, right? That's all I kept thinking about. When I was in jail, I didn't get visits from my children. I didn't have they moms wasn't sending me pictures and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I spent a lot of time away from them. So when I had the opportunity to embrace them again, I locked all the way in to the point where I'll be honest. I went my first 18 months of being out of jail. I ain't even had no job. I was just being a dad. You follow me? I was just available. I never forget my daughter Charlotte jumping in my arms. She was 8. Like I said, she'd be 20. Yeah, I'm not doing that, Joe, no more, bro. I can't do it no more. So they gave me, if I didn't have it before then, and I was a father before I went to jail. That to my point, right? But even if I figured it out later, like after becoming a father, it was clearly evident to me then. When I came home and I'm like, yo, I spent wait, my daughter Imani was 1.5. When I came home, she was 4. It was just crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bree was like 6. They bigger now, you know what I'm saying? And they gave me a reason to like want to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciate and love them for that. You know what I'm saying? And although we may have like differences and stuff like that, I love them dearly, and I get every chance I get to tell them I will. You know what I'm saying? And they really saved my life, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have. I just could. It was nothing else there, bro. Even when it came to me working and having a job, I tell you about my work career. I started from the bottom and worked my way. What do you say? I said I'm gonna start at the bottom, work my way up, and I'm gonna rob them niggas blind and shit. Like, I started from the bottom in that field, and I had no intent on going the way that I went. I was
Right,
just doing my job because I had a reason to. If I
right,
didn't have my children, my daughters at the time, I probably wouldn't have took working 1.5. I would have probably took that little couple dollars and tried to flip it as best as I knew how. You follow me?
yes,
But having my daughters, I wanted to be home in the evening time and bake pizzas and make tents with the baskets in the blanket. You follow me?
yes,
Like, so they really saved my life. So I would say if I wasn't a father, I'd probably be somewhere just wilding. You follow me? So shout out to the Power 7, man. All of you, man. I love you. We gonna get everything right, bro.
definitely.
All right, so my next one is, if I could master one thing, it would be finish the sentence.
Spanish.
There you go to DR, right? Chill,
Yo
motherfucker.
sabe, yo sabe, yo sabe. You know. But no, like I know, I really want to. I personally believe that like in the next 20 years, America is going to look a lot different than what it looks right now in regards to Spanish speaking language, culture, cities. Like, I
Yeah,
feel as though like you going to have to be some bilingual within the next 20 years to be able to, if you're trying to do trade, you're trying to work, you're trying to expand, you're trying to work in these different fields with different people. I feel it's like having two languages is going to give you an up. Like, it's going to put you on the upper echelon. Me just personally going into different stores and talking to people, like I can order my food right now in Spanish. Like I can speak it good, like, cause I went to college and spoke it and had Spanish 2 in college and constantly speak to people. I wanted to the words though I can understand everything. I want to be able to hear it, and I know exactly somebody talking shit if they saying good. I want to know if they talking slang, if they talking professional. I even watched this one show. It's on the Telemundo. It's called Casa Cerrado. It's basically it's mean case
shout out
closed.
moon.
Telemundo. It's called case. It's basically it says case closed, and it's like a Judge Judy show. But I be waking up out my sleep, see all the stuff, and you hear the talk, and it's just you hear the different words. Yeah, that's definitely something I would definitely want to master because I feel as though Probably that in chess. I would love to learn how to master
Mm.
chess. And that, 'cause they say, you look at life like chess. I mean, you probably be unstoppable. And I'm very smart. I would say, not really supposed to say that about yourself. I feel like I'm intelligent. I feel like to have chess and be like 3, 4 moves ahead of the next person or the next thing is like it's deadly. So it'd probably just be it. Learn a new language in chess.
Just speaking of chess, the irony of that, and I talked about being in jail. That's where I learned how to play chess, right? And a bunch of different stuff, right? In jail, like again, I'm not proud of the fact that I went to jail. However, I think even that may have saved me in a way. You follow me? Just having to have that experience, it really made me want to shake my life up. It did, because like I said, it was dudes our age and younger at the time. I was like in my early 20s at the time that was serving life sentences. It was dudes in there that had been they 19, 20 years old and never been with a girl. They've been in jail since they was 14, 15. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, but my point is that it's a lot of, I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of like, I guess, untapped potential, I'll say, in prisons. You know what I'm saying? So even if, learning how to play chess, I guess I never really learned. I wouldn't say that I'm a master at chess, but I learned the concept of the game, and I had been around chess pieces my entire life. But it wasn't until I was in there that I was able to sit down and really, I guess, understand the concept of the game. I'll say I understand it a lot better than I probably play it. I think I'm fairly good at it. I wouldn't say I'm a master, but I think I understand it a lot more than that. And yeah, and it's I've definitely heard the saying where people say is life is like chess and all that, and I can understand why you would say that. You know what I'm saying? The last time I played it, so the queen is the most powerful piece. So the last time I played it, it was at a barbershop. I picked up a game at the barbershop, and the way I played with my queen. The queen is the most powerful piece on the board. And I beat it. Mind you, any other piece, it didn't matter. Any other piece he took, I let him take it. But I was protecting the shit out of my queen. You follow me? And I wound up beating him, but he was just like, you want to try to let that bitch go, was you? No, nigga, like this. Even though the object is to protect the king. Yeah, why would you know what I'm saying? So, and granted, like I said, if I play a master, they might expose my game that way, knowing that that's how I play my game is through my queen. They might strategically know how to break that down. You follow me? You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely levels to the game of chess. And like I said, it's a lot like life. It is. It's very similar, man.
Well, let me give you this metaphor real quick. Clip this, John, because in life, when you
Mhm.
protect your queen, you destined to win. You hear me? Like
Boy,
when you put your queen in a position and she in a position of safety, it ain't nothing else for you to go again in a position to win. So I'm telling you, that's in life. Like that queen right there. Yeah, you might meet a master who got a different strategy, but I don't even know chess like that. But I can tell you one thing for sure, two for certain. That queen, when she in a position of protection, that king is more likely to be successful.
I agree. No, I agree. I agree. See, with me, I was using the queen like a weapon. Like she was,
Yeah,
every piece I took of his was with the queen. You follow me? Like
yeah,
I was using it like that. So I'm on offense and I'm playing defense. So the more and more I attack with the queen, the more and more he's liable to try to kill her. You follow
yeah,
me? Because it's like, yo, like tearing the board up. You follow
yeah.
me? But it's a lot more to it, you know what I mean? So it's a good game, and I think I think you would enjoy it too. You're a thinker, you would enjoy it. If I could master one thing, it would be finances. I think that's everything else. I don't. It's not too many things that I feel like I need to or will want to be a master of, even if I understand them and learn how to do them. But I would say finances because it would make a lot of things easier for me and my family if we just had a grand understanding. You know what I'm saying? I would say finances is so many different things, and from so many different perspectives, even learning how to like be frugal. You know what I'm saying? Taking like less but it basically be like having more. Again, I talk about coming home from jail when I got my first gig. When I got my You good? Everything good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you good. You can take if you need. All right, I was saying when I got my first gig, I was only making like maybe 725 at the time, but it seemed like you good. If you need to take a pause, I could.
Yeah,
We could
no,
pause.
no, she's so independent, bro. She didn't just move the chair herself, and no,
Baby,
we
girl,
good. She just
get her
baby
if she
girl.
if you
Go
need to
ahead,
get
yeah,
her.
you
Get
got it.
her. Yeah.
No, no, cause we rolling. Shorty, this is.
She moving the gym.
Go ahead.
Like,
Yeah,
hold
you,
up.
you can get up there from there.
Wait, hold up. No, better get out of that toilet.
Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Just hold on. It's scared of nigga. Hitting these angles. All right, come on, shorty.
The Black Dad podcast.
You're welcome, babe.
So I was just saying, like, it seemed like when I was making less, I always had more money. But the more
Yes.
money I began to make, the less money I had. However, that was most likely coming from like, I got more money now, I can do more with my money. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
it's actually supposed to be the opposite. When you make more, you actually spending a lot below your means. But we're not taught that. We're taught that once we get a new job, a new raise, we're supposed to now get a new expense. Instead of thinking that no, that's more money that can be saved, that can be added to something.
giving them some time, put that, let the money flow in a little bit. Then you could go get a new car, or then you could, whatever the circumstance may be.
Look at all the times where if you prepared for like, say if you got 5,000, 6,000 just laying around, you can go get a car, a nice car for sale, as opposed to having $1,000 car loan and you paying this money every month, and then something that depreciates every month, and then you're not getting your money value, as opposed to just buy once, cry once that one time. Like, so I think about that all the time, like all the different financial mistakes I've made or the things I've done well. It can definitely hinder you in the long run if we don't change.
So that's what I would say. And just being able to survive in certain climates, like, even when it came to stocks, the way I learned about stocks was through COVID. The job I was working at, they gave us discounts on it, the employee stock purchase plan. But I didn't even when I seen the money, I'm like, yo, I've been where the money go? Where the bread go? You follow me? So I'm like, taking the money out because it's not, but not realizing, especially with the job I had, it's going to drop because of the point in time it is.
Yeah.
But it's going to raise back up too. So when it go down is when you want to put your money in there. You don't want to take your money out. But I didn't understand that. I didn't know that. You follow me? And just, it's a lot of, like you said, it's a lot of like financial mistakes I made that I would want to. You got little mama? She back? She back on the screen?
Yes. Yes, baby.
She ready to get it?
Can I help you do a TikTok mashup? Yeah, so I'm done this, okay? We can do
We
as many
almost done.
TikTok mashups as
She
you want,
said, how
okay?
long is this going to take?
Sis trying to dance. Sis ready to dance.
How long is this going to take? You said
Bro-
an hour ago that we were going to do this.
Remember on Paper Soldiers days, like, man, Bleak kept Bleak rapping? They like, man, we gotta get you in the studio. I got to get her in the dance studio. I got to get her. Like, she just wants to dance.
That's beautiful, man. She come right to you. She know what she want. So yeah, I would just say, like, for me, I would just to conclude, I would definitely, if I could master one thing, it would be finances for many reasons. All right, so moving along. Funny, we just talked about being in the workplace and stuff like that. One thing I will not accept in the workplace is finish the sentence.
Being confined. So I recently trying to get like a different job, looking to seeing like just explore the career. Like, I do have a degree in criminology. So I went to I got a job offer, well not job, a job interview down the street from my house, and it's in this place where basically it's a juvenile detention center. Boy, when I walked in that motherfucker, excuse my leg. When I walked in, it was just like it just made me like get back to a child welfare system all over again. I'm saying like the locked doors, the meanness. They're asking me like, how would I be a supervisor? Like, they want me to be so stern and mean. I get it, these young men that rehabilitating, but it's like, is that what young men and women really need when they're in form of rehabilitation? It's like, do I want to be in somewhere where that form is I'm controlling and I gotta adhere to this schedule? Take a break this time, take a break that. Like, I know, like, so something that's really non-negotiable with me is I don't want that form of like control. Like, I want some type of freedom because that allows me to work in a better way. So I'm conducive to getting more things done if I feel like I'm not being micromanaged or hindered or constantly surveilled. Like, if I'm able to like get my job done, I'm going to do more than what's required because I'm given that freedom.
Yeah, you sound like I would agree with you wholeheartedly, man. And for me, I did the most of like the working, like the success in my career was working overnight. So to your point, for me, working overnight was way better because of that same reason that you said, you not being micromanaged, your work is cut out for you, and you could just kind of like go ahead and do your thing. And like you said, when I'm able to just kind of like do my thing, the results are I'm probably going to give you way more than what you bargained for just by putting me in that kind of position where I could just kind of like do my thing freely. However, working overnight, it is always, and I see it with a lot of companies. I was at a lot of different companies, at least 3 different companies where I worked management overnight. There's always, especially in retail, I'll say, there's always a beef between the day crew and the night crew, right?
Always, yeah.
For petty reasons, nothing. And it's just like, yo, we all work for the same company. If we learn how to work together, we could get a lot more done. But these people been like this long before I got here. They gonna be like it long after I leave, right? But the one thing I will not accept in or any place, but especially not in the job place, is disrespect.
Yeah.
You follow me? Like a lot of people, again, as a manager, I barely wrote people up, bro. My method was to pull people, unless it needed to get done. But it hardly ever happened that way because I always ran an environment where the job was so much more important than anything else. So we're finding ways to work together. We're finding ways to get the job done. It felt good to be able to work like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I talk about disrespect, some people take their positions to the head. You just what? Me and Jazz just was in Target the other day, and this guy.
You was in you Kamala voting Edward was in Target.
I never voted for Kamala. I don't even vote. I don't even vote at all.
I was about
I
to
don't
say,
vote at all.
DEI loving.
Nah.
You in Target?
I didn't vote for Kamala.
All right, because I voted for Trump.
You see, you get it mixed up. It's a young, black, and gifted. Now, Black Lives Matter. It's a complete difference, dog. Yeah, no, I'm not on that. But we was in Target and we at the register or whatever, and Bull talking to this grown. Mind you, he was like an adult, but the lady was like an adult, probably a little bit older than him, and he was talking to her crazy. And me and Jazz look at each other like I just didn't like Andy did it in front of people. You know what I'm saying? If y'all, even if you were playing, because the lady didn't really me and Jazz probably was more annoyed than the lady was. However, it was like, I don't do that. I don't talk to people crazy just because I'm their manager. I give people the respect, especially in that job I was working. A lot of these guys were old enough to be my father. So my position, I didn't allow my position to supersede my intelligence when it came to dealing. Because it's like, yo, he got sons my age. You know what I'm saying? And also, too, your position is only your position for that 8 to 10 hours that you on that clock. Somebody will wait for you by your car and get it crazy. You tired, your feet hurt, but they want to fight because of how you talk to them crazy 12 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? So just like respect. And I always was big on that, but that's not how that environment, like corporate America wasn't built off of respect. It wasn't. You read the 48 laws of power, it'll tell you everything you need to know about that world, right? So I would just say respect. And that's probably why I'm no longer in that world, because I was very much so a rebel. I stood on my principles, and I could have been a little extreme at times. However, I always I always thought about being a man. I'm a father. My children are at home with me. Yeah. So I didn't have that ingredient where it's like, yeah, I'm just do my 8 and skate. My children might be giving me a hard time when I go home, so I might need to regulate them. So I just let another grown man regulate me, but I'm going to come home and regulate my children? No. You can give me direction, but it's in how you do it. It's not that I can't take direction. I'm a grown man. At this point, I got a grandbaby. We got to, but it's like beating a dead horse trying to implement that or establish that in that world, because it's just not how they'll risk the progression of the company just to remain in control. They don't give a fuck. They'll get rid of somebody like me, somebody that's an asset to the company, just to be able to have somebody that can control it. Somebody that I could do the job 10 times better than, but they know that they can treat them and deal with them any old kind. So, respect. I just want my respect, and I'll return it. You know what I'm saying? I'll even lead with it so that we can establish that on all grounds. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely not taking no disrespect, bro. So for our last segment,
the Man Cave, brought to you in part by the YBG Network.
We got the Man Cave, man. So I wanted to talk about, you can see I got the Young Black and Gifted, the Throwback Podcast backdrop. So I've been doing a lot of podcasting, so I wanted to kind of shed light on some of the guys that I had the opportunity to tap in with. So last weekend, and 2 weeks ago, I had 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to interview the Morton brothers. That was like my third, fourth time interviewing them. So I had We had a brush up interview with them, but I also made it to one of the games. They played down here in Maryland. The youngest brother, the oldest brother is injured right now, but the youngest brother is killing it. So I said, y'all in Maryland? Like right after I interviewed them, I'm like, let me know when y'all in Maryland. They like, we be down there next weekend. So I'm like, all right, yeah, let me know. Send me the date, place, and time, and I'll be there. So unfortunately, they didn't get that win. That loss was against a team that they've had their fair share of troubles with in the past.
Okay.
However, my insight on that is that, it's the preseason. It didn't count towards their record, which their goal is to go to the Nationals, which more than likely they will, and they might have to see that team again in the Nationals. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is better now so that you can kind of like make the adjustments necessary. So when you do see them again in the future, you'll be marching to a different tune.
Yeah.
So shout out to Malachi Flash Morton, outstanding talent, man. Play both sides of the ball. He loves the game. I'm trying to do the thumbnail, and I'm trying to get his dad to send me a picture of him in his uniform, but with no helmet. His dad sent me 10 pictures with him with the helmet. He a football boy. He love that. He loved the game. I'm excited for him to see what he do this year. Also, I wanted to highlight, he said the last 2 games, over 300 yards rushing.
Wow.
The last 2 games, 7 tackles. 1 was a forced fumble. So,
he moving.
Yeah, I like Flash as a defensive player. I mean, as an offensive player, but I really like him as a defensive player. You know what I'm saying? He could run the ball, but on defense, he's a mad. I said it 2 times before. A madman on defense, man.
All right.
So shout out to the Morton brothers, Malachi and Davone. I also want to shed light on another young brother that had been on the show before, Eric Willis III. His family, Darby natives. He actually went to high school in he went to Academy Park.
Okay.
Went to Kyle. I don't know. You might be familiar with Kyle U, Pennsylvania, California University, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Played for them. I want to say for 3 years.
They're Division 2, right? Division
2, right? Yeah. So his final season being this upcoming season, he decided to enter the portal and he went D1. So I had the opportunity to watch his debut in D1, and I was a little burnt out by it. Shout out to him. So he had 5 receptions for 35 yards. However, I watched the game in its entirety. He was open for a lot of his routes ran. Eric is very fast. Not only is he skilled, he's a wide receiver. Not only is he a skilled wide receiver, he's very fast, and he's good at running routes.
Yeah, okay.
But for some odd reason, he didn't get the ball as much as, maybe I'm biased, but I thought he should have got more looks than what he did. And some of the looks that he got, the ball just wasn't thrown good by the quarterback. Shout out to that quarterback. He's a black young guy. This is his first time starting, though. He's entered the transfer portal a few times, but I want to say every other year he played a quarterback, he was a backup. So this is I want to say he in about his 3rd or 4th year, but he's a starter. You follow me? And also, too, you could tell he a little like still wet behind the ears, but you got a weapon like Eric Willis on your team. You want to use him and you want to utilize him in a way that could be beneficial to your offense, man. They say that so I'm listening to the commentators. They say, excuse me, he now attends UTEP. University of Texas El Paso, the Miners down in Texas. So D1, they played Utah State, I want to say, this past Saturday. So I'm listening to the commentators, and the commentators are calling them a high-speed offense. And I'm like, that makes sense. You got Eric on your team? Yeah, I can see that. But for some odd reason, it just didn't seem, it wasn't clicking, man. And, I'm on the edge of my seat ready to cheer for him, but he going to get his turn.
Yeah, it's early in the season.
I sent him a little message just to let him know that I'm rooting for him, cheering for him. But you can see the things that need adjusting is what I'll say.
Okay.
But I already know as soon as he get that opportunity, when they give him he either gonna get the opportunity or he gonna wind up taking it, because he's way too good of a talent to be overlooked in some of those plays, and then they lost too. You follow me? So at some point in time, you're going to have to understand and learn. So again, to go back to like even being when I was a manager, the reason why I was so successful is because I understood the strengths of my team. Yeah. So I put everybody in the position so that the overall goal can get completed. And then I also put my team members in position to be successful. It's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to E. Will. In 2 weeks, they got Texas, Arch Manning. I want to say week 3, so not next weekend, but the following weekend they got Arch Manning. So that's going to be a good joint. I'm gonna be tapped in for that. And lastly, I want to highlight. She good? You good? She in there.
Yeah,
She in there.
yeah. Just got the eggs on the fork. She like, this nigga
There's
got to
some
come on.
crazy. Yo, that's too funny.
I'm coming, shorty. Be careful getting down, okay?
So I will last before I wrap up, I want to shed some light on Sadar Brown. Sadar Brown is somebody who I just interviewed. Sadar, he's somebody who I've had on the show again before. So if they've been on the show, just like I didn't get a chance to do a sit down with Day Day, but we did interview him. So anytime you come on the show, I label you a alumni. So Sadar is a YBG alumni. She good? Everything good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sadar is now what I consider a YBG alumni. So, but I've been following Sadar's career since he was about 10 years old. He's now 13. And one of the things that I've noticed about him recently is his growth spurt. He about 6 feet now, 160 pounds, but he only in the 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grader. Yeah. So I was excited about he's in his second year playing basketball. That really, I'm a basketball bull, so I was really excited to see that. But he's also playing football. So he good kid, man. Got his head on his shoulders. If you get a chance, I'll send you the link. If you get a chance, check out the interview. Got a head on his shoulders, man. So that's just pretty much what the Young Black and Gifted is, man. And that's how I started this thing, was wanting to shed light on the people, mainly the youth, but also whomever else is out here doing things. That's how I was able to link up with you and get this joint rolling, the Black Dad Podcast. So shout out to all the YBG alum. I know I didn't mention everybody. Yeah, so I just wanted to shout out everybody. What about you? You got anything? I know you got little mama. She got you on edge. Look, she balancing I would say she balancing all the China. She like this and all the
This
China.
was like the eggs. Like, come on, dude. Like, come on, man. We gotta get this pork. Like, I understand. Jeez.
Oh man.
But
All right,
no,
well, that's all I got. You got anything else before we dip up out of here?
we had one jaw. If you could change the ending to any TV show, any one TV show, what would the ending be?
So for me, I'm gonna say The Sopranos.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Yeah, I have, because you got me the last time, so I had to beat you to the punch.
Yeah.
The Sopranos, only because I'm not mad at how it ended, because if you really enjoy the show and if you really like me, like somebody that takes it serious, you could kind of like debate it or even kind of like create your own ending, if you will. For me, I think it's a representation of his death, because I can't really see nothing else. Especially with the guy, spoiler alert for those who haven't watched it yet, but especially with the guy walking behind him and
Put the members only jacket on, yeah.
Yeah. So I can't help but what I would change is a more definite ending. You know what I'm saying? A definite meaning, like it's more obvious about what had taken place and how the show had ended. So if I could change any John, it would be The Sopranos.
I'm changing power.
Okay.
I
Which
am faking Ghost. I'm faking Ghost's death. Though they think he did, but if you could tell, like in the last episode, it's like an ambulance that rides by. He done that before, where they had ambulances and different things that they had. So it's very plausible for him to have just slid off. Would even wrote like a story as though the girl Ramona, she understood exactly who he was, his connections to the drug lord, stuff like that. CIA and government still need people like that. So Ghost could be somewhere still working for the feds, dealing with different cartels, posing as different people. He's a ghost. He has the ability to speak Spanish, things like that. So I would personally have kept Ghost still alive. I feel like there was so much more to it. Another storyline, Ghost and Angela have a child that is raised by the sister. That's actually Ghost's son. They could have did that. Ghost's brother. It was a whole lot of different things that they could have it really expounded on about Ghost. So I feel like just changing the ending of Power would kind of been definitely would have led to even a lot more than the spinoffs, because I think it shit, like, imagine the Tejadas are related to Ghost or something from the John with Tariq or something. So it was a lot more I feel like they could have done.
I would probably want to change Snowfall too, but only just the part about. Again, I'm not mad at Franklin being. I guess it kind of like sends a certain kind of message, but I don't know. Maybe him riding off into the sun might have been a little too unrealistic
Why? Why?
because I don't know. I just think that the if you look at the real guy, as far as I know, is based off of the life of
Freeway
Freeway.
Ricky.
Yeah, and I just think most guys that have lived that lifestyle to that degree they don't last too long. You follow me? It's very seldom that you get the opportunity to just walk away.
Yeah, but
You
why
follow
he
me?
gotta be cracked out, smoked out though? He gotta be like, it's just
That's
like
what I'm saying.
he Freeway Ricky Ross ain't that. He went to jail and he doing interviews and stuff like that. So it's like,
That's
why
my point.
give this
Yeah.
perception that he's just that old nigga that's on the streets? And it's kind of like they wanted us to have that towards though that young. Oh, I mean that old messed up brother that's on the streets right now. He used to be something back in the day. And if we don't change our lives or stop doing what we're doing, we're gonna end up him. That's not necessarily always the case. I
Yeah,
definitely begin at that
that's
end.
what I would want to change. I do understand it, but I would definitely want to change it. I wouldn't mind if he became a day-to-day guy, got a few shots, got a few car shops popping or something like that. You follow me? But seeing him as a drunk, but I also because he was burnt out. He was, and I think it also symbolizes how deep into it he was. You
Yeah.
follow me? Like it's different. It wasn't just the street level. He was at it with the CIA. You follow me? So that it's not too many regular people or day-to-day people that deal with it to that magnitude. You follow me? He was dealing with a lot of bullshit. You feel me? So yeah, I definitely would have wanted to see that change a little, end a little differently.
Yeah.
You got anything else, bro? What else you got?
No, that was it. That was getting
Word.
started. You know what I'm saying? Got a little creep right here. Yeah.
I
I
got
do
two. I got
understand.
two things for you before we dip up out of here. If we get less, because we'll probably come back in 2 weeks, right? So in 2 weeks, let's try to do a review for highest to lowest. So maybe in the next 2 weeks, because it'll actually be streaming on the 5th, which is the Friday. So let's try to watch it sometime between when it comes out and then our next joint, and we can make that a part of our episode. We'll review it on our next episode. And it was something else I wanted to toss. I don't know. It left my mind. Whatever it is, well, let's go live. Let's go live next episode too. So we'll work on promoting our live episode for our next recording.
All right, yeah, and then definitely gotta get our football picks in too. See
Yes, the
who
season
you who,
starts.
who, who you got? Eagles Cowboys. It's coming Thursday.
I'm realistic. Eagles. I'm be honest. I bet it with the Eagles all last season. I didn't bet against the Eagles not one time. You follow me? But what I'm gonna say this, right? I seen this commercial where it's a FanDuel commercial
Yeah,
where it said proud partner of the NFL. I said, oh no, they bullshit. They play. What do you mean a proud partner? So you gotta be mindful. You gotta be careful.
yeah,
The Eagles. I like the Cowboys. Ain't got nothing for that.
yeah. They ain't got Michael Parsons no more. So
Let me while I still got you, I know we want to wrap up. Let me see if I could pull up because we could definitely do our NFL week 1 schedule. So you got the Eagles and the Cowboys. Yeah, that's on Thursdays. Who you like? You like Friday? You got the Chargers and the Chiefs. Who you like?
I took the Chiefs in that one.
Yeah, me too. I'm taking the Chiefs. Colts and the Dolphins. Who you like?
I think I took Tyreek Hill with that one. For it was like kind of a coin toss because I did it like three different ways. Like I tell you, I looked it up through the probability. I looked it up through artificial intelligence, and then I looked it up through just like coin toss and heart. Like who do I feel? And if all three or four matched, I think I picked the Dolphins with that one.
Who's the quarterback? Is it Tua
I don't
for the
got no
Dolphins?
faith in Colts right now, but Tua is Dolphins quarterback right now.
Yeah, so I would definitely take the Dolphins against the Colts. Steelers and Jets. That should be a
So
good one.
that's a good one. Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
revenge game. Get to throw his thing. So I took the Steelers with that one.
I would say, and the Jets right now, their quarterback is Fields, right? Justin Fields. I think they got.
Yeah.
I could.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to say they. I don't know if they traded Justin Fields for because Aaron Rodgers was on the Jets, so I don't know if
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers signed or if they traded. However it went, right?
Yeah.
But I
Aaron
think the Jets
Rodgers
got Justin
signed
Fields.
with them. Yeah. He signed with Steelers.
Panthers or the Jaguars.
I got the Jags.
Yep. Okay, well,
Even though I don't know,
great minds think
personally I
alike.
don't know. I see Cavs at Carolina actually they looked at really good in the preseason. The quarterback looked really nice, like got it together. But I'm giving this the make or break year for the quarterback for the Jaguars. Like, if he don't get it done this year, he will not be in the league next year.
I forget what the ticket was, but I had him for like, let's say I needed him just to hit for like 200 yards. And they drilled him, knocked him out the game. I did like a 30-leg jog, and I just needed him to get 200 yards. Knocked him out the game. They had to take him off the field on the stretcher. So, yeah, I would definitely take the Jags. I know they got Travis Hunter. That's going to be his NFL debut. So I like that. I like the Jaguars also. Cardinals or the Saints?
I took the Saints in that one.
Okay. I would probably take just based off of what I do know how I feel, I would take the Cardinals in that joint. Commanders or the Giants? That should be a good one too.
So I actually took the Commanders, but I really don't know. Like, the Giants are, I've obviously been watching the Giants a lot in the preseason. The Giants are going to be a fun team. The Giants are going to be like a very entertaining team between Jameis and Winston. The quarterback with Russ there, Malik Neighbors. So I'm actually going to take the Giants with the upset week 1 on that one.
Word. Yeah, I like the Commanders. I like JD coming out strong after his powerful rookie season, and then they also
I got a sophomore slump coming for the homer.
Okay. We'll see. I like him though. And Terry McLaurin got his money, so he was crying at first. They wasn't trying to pay him, so he got his money. So I'm expecting some big things from him. And they got I like Debo. They got Debo, so I think that the Commanders might take that joint. Buccaneers or the Falcons?
I took the Bucs.
I get them two mixed up.
I took the Bucs.
Yeah, I always get them. They got like players on their team that I always get mixed up.
Yeah, the Bucs
I would say
Baker Mayfield. Yeah, the Bucs got Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans. They got a nice team around them.
Mike Evans. Oh yeah, better offense. Yeah, Bucs. I was gonna say Falcons just for the content, but no, you're right. Buccaneers. Bengals or the Browns?
So the Bengals are my Super Bowl pick for this year. I think they get it together and shock the world. Joe Burrow get his first ring. So he's Bengals versus who?
Bengals and the Browns. Since Ohio,
I got Bengals.
Ohio Bowl.
Yeah, Bengals winning.
Yeah, Bengals.
Browns
I like the
don't
Bengals.
got it together. Joe Flacco good manager, but Joe Burrow gonna go off.
Raiders or the Patriots?
I gotta go with Chucky on that one. No, it's Pete Carroll is the head coach of the Raiders right now, right?
Raiders now? Okay, yeah.
So
but the owner do look like John Gruden. He looked like if Chucky, John Gruden aged 30 years.
I think I took the Pats in that one. As the game is at Gillette Stadium.
Pats.
Is that Gillette?
Yep.
Yeah, I took the Pats.
Yeah. And and it's like a return. Tom Brady, part owner of the Raiders. So I'm pretty sure he'll be in the building for that, John. But I gotta go Pats on that. Seahawks or 49ers? You think the 49ers can bounce back this year?
Yeah, I like they running back. I also like their coach. I just like their whole system. So yeah, I'm gonna take the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree. Seahawks, I don't think they need to do some work over there. I'm sure. Broncos or the Titans are.
Come on, nigga, you already know the answer to this one. Let's ride, baby. Let's ride.
Titans. Yeah, I might gotta go Broncos on that because Titans.
No, we going
Broncos. Let's ride.
Let's ride, baby. Let's ride.
Lions or Packers?
I got Lions. So Lions and Packers games are always good because they always play each other so well. The Lions offense was amazing last year, one of the highest rated offenses in the league. Jordan Love got his squad, Michael Parsons. So I kind of like it's going to be a close game with the Lions taking over in the second half, probably winning by like 13. So I got the Lions for the win, but it's going to be a close one in the beginning.
Yep, same here, Lions. Texans or the Rams?
I got Rams.
Okay. Oh, damn, this joint gonna be great. Ravens or Bills?
I got the MVP in that one. I think he just got married to a nice little shorty, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the Bills. Josh Allen for the win with that one.
Ravens, it's so funny because I don't go against the Ravens either. Like I said, I always bet with the Eagles, I always bet with the Ravens, right? I would say the same thing for Josh Allen is he because he could either gonna rush for a whole bunch of touchdowns or it's just so, but it's gonna be a great game. But I gotta go with I'm gonna go with the Ravens. And if Lamar, this is a great opportunity for him to prove himself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take Baltimore on that one. All right, in a Monday game, ending it off, Vikings or the Bears? Who you like? in a Monday night game.
Woo!
Which
Man,
would
I don't
be
know why. I feel like the Vikings have been like a solid team. They got everything together. I just feel like the Bears is going to sneak one out that day. I feel like the Vikings is just
and
going to be like it
the
might
Bears
be.
are home.
Yeah, it's going to be like by 3 points, maybe even by a safety or something like that. I kind of feel like it's going to be one of those close games, man. And I've been immersed. Like when I tell you, I've been immersed in football all summer. Like fall asleep to ESPN. This thing. When I last time I was like this was when I graduated from college, and my man used to call me. And I used to pick every game right, bro. When I said I made this man, this was before I was even betting. He would just call me, and I would tell him like this feel just like how I felt. Like certain things might happen, but I was picking them right. So I feel like this year we got some good ones, man. This is gonna be a good league, good games.
Y'all Hills, man. I tapped in with your brother last season for the same reason. So it must
Yeah,
be that must be something in the bloodline.
yeah.
You
When
know what I
he
mean?
no
But I
he
like
be
for that.
dead immersed in it. Yeah, like he be straight immersed in it. Like and I.
No, I was saying I like the Vikings for that game. Even though they crumbled in the playoffs, they got
Yeah.
smoked in the playoffs. I think I don't know if they did anything with their lineup, with their team. If they pretty much got the same team, I think this could be a cakewalk for them. Even as far as the quarterback, I don't think his confidence is completely shot. It's the beginning of the season, is a fresh start. So he should be able to come out with some confidence. And I think that the Vikings can take the win home against the Bears, going to the stadium and get the Bears.
Yeah, Caleb gonna get his thing.
Yeah, on the Bears.
The Bears, yeah.
Well, that's all I got, bro. You got anything else?
No, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Get this little shorty outside. Write some
Get
chalk on
little
the
mama's outside,
cement
man.
or
Get it to the
something.
park. Yeah, yeah. All right, well, there y'all have it, man. Black Dad Podcast, episode 12. I'm underrated. That's Davone, and we'll tap in with y'all again in the future, y'all. God bless.
Yeah.
This is only a test.